Right, we've been waiting for this for such a long time, and IPL 2018 is here again. IPL 11 is here. It's a big new beginning, lots of new players on either side. It'll take a little bit of time to actually almost get into muscle memory who's playing for whom, because the players are moving around, but you do not get a bigger start than Mumbai Indians versus Chennai Super Kings. And somebody who was part of Mumbai Indians for many years is still here, and he's in our studio. Zaheer Khan joins us. And so does Joy Bhattacharjya. We've promised not to pull his leg about Kolkata Knight Riders, but we'll only go there from time to time. So, I mean, straight away, we'll talk about what's likely to happen today. Chennai Super Kings have won the toss. Mumbai are batting. And Sunil Gavaskar said in the pitch report, typical Mumbai track, which means not for people like you.
Actually, surprisingly, it looked good. There's a tinge of grass there. So with Mumbai wicket always, as a bowler, if you get the ball in the right areas, you will get rewards for that. But the margin of error is less. So as a bowler, you got to be very precise with your line and length. If you're a little too short, a batsman can take advantage of that. If you're a little too full, you are going to go for runs because with a good bounce, you get that elevation, and that's why you see a lot of sixes on that ground. But on the whole, I think it was a good toss to win. I think as far as CSK is concerned, Rohit would have also liked to bowl first, and let's see how now Rohit takes a start in this big IPL.
Because he has to open. Rohit has to open.
Yeah, exactly.
It's this big tussle. Everybody except Mumbai Indians thought he must open.
You've heard of the PLO, People's Organization, Palestine Liberation Organization. I belong to PLRO. Please let Rohit open. You cannot let the best batsman in T20 cricket, I mean, arguably one of the best batsmen, not open.
And okay, really, now before the game started, he said this is like El Clasico. He said this is like Barca versus Real Madrid, MI versus CSK. I mean, look at the history. CSK 2 titles, Mumbai Indians 3 titles. This big emotion swirling around the return of CSK. Is it really El Clasico? What do you think?
I think a couple of teams, I think Bangalore and especially Kolkata would have a bit to say about that. But look, it is really a really big match, and it might be the this thing derby. It may be the Merseyside derby rather than El Clasico, but it's really a big one.
It's 12-10. In fact, if you look at the Wankhede Stadium, it gets even better. It's 5-2 at the Wankhede Stadium. So am I favourite, Zach?
I think so. I think because they have the home advantage as well. CSK is making a comeback, so they've been out for 2 years. So the team is getting together, wherein MI has been building from strength to strength. They've retained their core with the auction as well. The Pandyas are there, Rohit is there, so Karan Pollard. So they will have that kind of momentum. They would feel that going into this IPL, they have the good playing 11. Their consistency in IPL over the years have been fantastic. So is CSK, but this 2-year break can hamper a bit. So I think going into this match, MI certainly are the favourites.
And they always, one thing with MI we've known over the years is there'll always be a surprise in the first game. And they've picked this leg spinner that nobody knows anything about.
Apparently he's out from Bhatinda, 20-year-old who's just... Mayank Markande.
Yeah.
He's a leggy, again, is surprise element. But, it's again interesting. If you see what MI have done, a pitch with a tinge of grass, they have the bowling attack. It's not, I mean, if you look at a fast bowling attack, this is an attack, I mean, this ground is suited for MI's bowlers far more than that. So they've at least got a pitch to suit them.
It's a fair point. Mumbai have got Mitch McLennan. He's come back. He actually has come in as a replacement.
Yes.
They brought him as a replacement. Pat Cummins cannot play today, by the way, because he only came in last evening. That will be a big loss because on a nice green surface, Cummins would have been a really good bowler. But McLennan, Fizz, Bumrah, Hardik, they've got 4 seamers to play.
Looks a formidable bowling attack. I think with Hardik Pandya providing that kind of a balance, I think that's always going to be an advantage. And he's improved as a bowler. He's not someone who is going to give you 2. He will probably give you 4 overs this IPL. And if that happens, then I think MI will be a serious contender in this IPL to lift the trophy.
Of course, they're not the best of starters, you have to say.
No, they don't.
Not the best of starters. They sort of wake up 3 games into the IPL and say, "Abhi to yaar match jeetna hai," and all that. This is the one problem they have. Of course, we're hoping with their home ground and all this. But even after winning the championship, every time the next year they don't seem to enjoy playing again. They start late, they wake up. Mumbai anyway, the sun rises later also, so it's
I think this year though it is going to be different. I think you look at the playing 11 and it is looking a very settled 11. I think the only question mark which in the auction also I felt was the spin department. Someone like Harbhajan is moved away now. He's playing against MI. 10 years he's been representing. He's been taking that load, being a senior spinner. I think he was controlling that spin department for MI. This year, I think that one department is still a question mark. If they sort that thing out, if one of the youngsters like Rahul Chahar or Markande fills in that spot, then it's going to be a tough team to beat.
Okay, I think let's actually run down and see the sides that they've picked, because as you said, Mumbai started a little slowly, but they've gone with Evan Lewis. So Rohit Sharma, Evan Lewis, Surya Kumar Yadav is playing. So Ishan Kishan 3, Surya Kumar Yadav 4, then Pollard Pandya. I think it's a very good side, and I actually think, Joy, and you've been with and both of you have been, that the best teams are teams of 10. And I think this Mumbai Indians is a team of 10, and so they can throw this young leggy in and say, look, nobody knows you. Yeah, come on, let's throw you in.
Absolutely. And look at that, this thing. If they get bowling out of Pollard, they can afford not to. He gets hit for a couple of overs. They say, okay, you just bowl 2 overs, relax, take it easy, play the next match.
When did Pollard last bowl?
You need to ask him, because I'm not sure he remembers.
It's 2013, 14 or something. He now runs in, bowls 1 over, concedes 15, 20, whatever. So
he's been bowling that last over when they require 30 runs.
But you like that? Do you like that Mumbai Indians lineup?
I think so. I think plus Kunal Pandya is someone who we must talk about, because he's been chipping in with the bat as well. He's been very consistent in the last IPL, and again once again you have two Pandyas who are changing the balance of the team. Like you have two guys who can contribute with the bat and ball, and that really changes the balance of the team. And someone like Rohit with Surya Kumar Yadav coming in the side is giving that stability in the middle overs as well now, so that Rohit and Evan Lewis with Ishan Kishan, I think those top 3 are the firepower, and once they get that kind of start, then you have likes of Kieron Pollard to really have a destructive effect on the opponents.
I mean, that clearly shows Rohit Sharma is going to open the batting. Even you look at his IPL numbers, for some reason Mumbai have batted him in the middle order. 60-65 games he's batted in the middle order. When he opens, the numbers are completely different. There you are. Numbers are completely different. Average 45 versus 31. Strike rate 134. Not a huge difference. But as an opener, he's a batsman, isn't he?
No, absolutely. And you have to give your best players the chance to get as many balls as possible. I mean, it's a simple mathematics. It's okay if you are, it's a night watchman, it's a test match, it's a dicey wicket, hold back, let somebody else take the shine of the ball. It's not like that. This is 20 over cricket. I just do not understand it.
Tell me this first game. Everyone looks at the great emotion, drama around the first game. Numbers are telling us it doesn't actually matter if you lose the first game that much, right?
It is an interesting one, because traditionally it hasn't. In fact, I think we have a stat about it which is very, very revealing.
7 out of 10 winners have lost their first game.
7 out of 10 winners, and Mumbai are especially good at it. As I said, earlier, they're especially good at it. They just do not want to come back and win.
Yeah, I mean, look at the champions. The only teams that have won: Deccan Chargers 2009, CSK 2011, and KKR 2014. I mean, I'm just trying to imagine the studio and KKR come in and Joyce sitting here. There's one other thing I want to talk to you about. People who have not played the IPL before, they suddenly get Mumbai Indians an intimidating ground, much like Bangalore is, because it just rises up like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And everyone is looking down at the action. Someone like an Evan Lewis is going out to bat. He's not got time in the field to get used to the conditions. Emotionally, he desperately wants to play the IPL, and suddenly he's going in. Does that affect people, newcomers suddenly in the big environment of the IPL?
It does. I think it certainly affects anyone who's playing under such a huge crowd with lots of noise. But it can affect you positively, or it can really kind of bog down your game. So that's really important. That sometimes this kind of electrifying atmosphere brings out the best in you. And I think in Evan Lewis's case, I think he's played enough cricket. He's played enough international cricket. Has been in different kind of pressure situations. So he should be okay to cope up with these kind of atmosphere, I think, on the ground.
Now, Joy is almost attracting hatred because he's got a point of view on Chennai Super Kings.
No, I think they're a great team for 2011. You know, you look at that
Great team
lineup.
for 2011.
Yes,
They're
it's a
2018
fantastic.
now.
Yes, but 2011, look at them. They're all match winners. Harbhajan, Jadeja. Other than Dhoni, which one of these guys are now playing international money for India T20 cricket? Raina's on the border, and you'll have to connect. The rest of them are all out. But in 2011, they're a winning team.
Okay, now this is interesting because they've made a lot of very interesting changes. Dhoni is there. Raina, Kedar Jadhav, Ambatti Rayudu is also playing. So who opens for them? They've Deepak Chahar is the quick bowler. So there's no so Imran
Shane
Tahir
Watson.
is there.
Shane Watson is certainly going
So
to.
Watson, Wood are the bowlers. Watson, Wood are the fast bowlers.
Yeah.
Bravo. Watson, Wood, Bravo will be bowling. And then they'll be having Chahar and Raina, probably.
Yeah.
Raina, Jadeja, all of them will be giving you overs after that.
Yeah,
Tahir, so
opening.
three
You're right.
spinners.
Actually, opening slot does look like a question mark. It will be a surprise.
So Shardul Thakur is
who
not there.
will be? Shardul Thakur is also
So
not
maybe
there.
there's a fitness issue because otherwise you'd want to play Shardul Thakur in your
No,
side.
I'm just wondering, this is a great side to play at Chennai. But in Mumbai, with the pitch looking like what it is, it's not. It doesn't look as if it's
So
a
who
perfect
opens
pitch
them?
for this.
Watson opens the batting. There's no Murali Vijay in that side. They've
There's
got
no Murali
Ambatti
Vijay,
Rayudu
so that's
playing
what.
now.
So opening will certainly be a surprise today. Ambatti Rayudu is an option, or Suresh Raina might open with Shane Watson, but doesn't look like someone else can open in that side.
I mean, I think we'll look at that side again because there's such a lot of change from what we thought would be the side.
Yeah.
So there's no Karan Sharma. They've gone again with Harbhajan Singh. So Wood, Chahar, Harbhajan, Jadeja, Bravo, Tahir. They've got 6 bowling options
Out of which
there.
4 are the big
So
bowls.
clearly, I wouldn't be surprised Rayudu comes out to open the batting. Because let's look at
That's
the
the
batting.
most likely chance. I think Ambatti Rayudu is certainly going to open with Shane Watson, number 3 Suresh Raina, number 4 Kedar Jadhav, then MS Dhoni will be at number 5, and
Jadeja 6.
Dwayne Bravo,
Bravo
Jadeja
They were
to
speaking
follow along with
about
Harbhajan.
batting Dhoni at 4. A lot of statements from Fleming saying that they want Dhoni to bat at 4, make a statement out there. So that's interesting. I mean,
How does it feel? I mean, you were in MI. Harbhajan Singh is MI out and out, right? Harbhajan, and I think it needs to be said as well. Harbhajan's been very close to the owners of Mumbai Indians as well. They've been really good to him. He's been excellent for Mumbai Indians. He's delivered for them over the years. Suddenly, Harbhajan in yellow at the Wankhede Stadium will be very different.
It is, I think.
I think he'll go to the wrong dressing room for starters. Arey, kahan chale gaye? He'll turn to the right. When you go in, the left is the visitors' dressing room. He'll definitely turn to the right before figuring out.
Nita Bhabi, main yahan kahan aa gaya?
I think certainly an emotional game for Harbhajan, this one. When you are representing a franchise for 10 years, it's not easy to then play against the same franchisee on the same ground to start with. I think so certainly this one is going to be a very emotional game for Harbhajan, and he has been vocal about it. I think he's been saying those kind of things on Twitter and a whole lot of social media.
Bhaji,
as well.
what kind of character is he?
I think when he's on the field, he's certainly gonna give the best, and for anyone, I think for any athlete, every time you're on the field, you would want to give your best. So in spite of all the emotions flowing, I think what he would be wanting to do is to have one of the best performances on the field today when he's playing with his own family members. So that rivalry actually brings out the best in you.
What about Dhoni?
No, I think this is, I have a theory. This is exactly like there's this great 2010 film, again back to 2010, called The Expendables.
Yeah.
And it's Sylvester Stallone, he's directed it as well. All these old heroes, Jet Li, Jason Statham, Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, they all come back together for one final time to, break something. And this CSK team looks like that, the Expendables, everyone's, telling them you're too old, you can't do this. Let's get together one more time. The other thing to remember is Expendables was a hit. Whether or not it...
This is your comeback line for all the CSK fans, right?
Expendables was a hit.
Essentially what Joy has said is, you are an aging side, all these guys coming together, but maybe you will win.
So because I have a very simple question to ask you. Who is CSK going to retain in 2021? You look at that lineup and you'll see that there's practically no one who you're looking to for fresh.
This is just an
This is
emotion
now.
side. Everyone come back in. But do they have the attack for this track? It's really a fast. Well, if it's a bouncy green track, they've got Mark Wood, they've got Dwayne Bravo, and they've got Deepak Chahar. Maybe they picked him because he swings the ball around a little bit. But do they have the bowling to win this game?
Look, they won the toss and bowled first. So bowling is certainly not their strength, particularly when they're playing on the wicket like Wankhede. They have a very formidable attack for a turning track. But on these kind of tracks and away games, I think they will face this challenge. Certainly, they would rely on their batting to bail them out of these kind of situations, and they're going to have a similar kind of approach: win the toss, bowl first, and whatever extra runs they have to score, they'll make sure they will be able to score with the. They'll try and get it with the batting lineup.
The reason we are talking about bowling all along is because we believe, all of us here, that the bowling tends to win matches. So let's hear from a bowler himself. Just in the build-up to the game. This is what Jasprit Bumrah had to say about this game. So let's hear from him.
So I don't think about all the responsibilities. I just enjoy whatever the job is given to me. So as a bowling unit, I don't see that we are dependent on a particular bowler. We have a very good bowling unit. We've got many varieties in our bowling lineup as well. We've got good spinners, good fast bowlers. So as a unit, if you create pressure, the job is done. So I don't see that I am taking extra responsibility. I have to do all the work. Everybody is doing their own bit. So yeah, it's a good place when you have so many different kind of bowlers. We learn from each other. We keep growing. So yeah, that's the best place to be.
First thing, he's starting to look more and more like John Abraham with that right eye. I don't know what that's about because of the right eye. But he talks about there being a good bowling unit. And even though they're batting first, we're talking about them being a good bowling unit because they've got to come back and defend this target. So what will be a good target? Normally, Wankhede, they say, is a difficult chasing ground. Would that affect the batsmen when they go out to bat thinking we've got to get 180, 190 on this track?
Well, that's usually the case. When you're playing at Wankhede, you think of that 200 number. I mean, I'm actually stretching it a bit further than 180 because the wicket is so good. I think when you're batting first, you just don't know what's the good total, and that's where someone like Rohit will be crucial. When you're leading the side and opening the batting, you kind of have that responsibility, and you can take that responsibility and say that okay, it's a 180 wicket. 190 wicket, let's just aim for that, because more often than not, you've seen in this format, when you look to set that high target, you end up scoring 20 runs short than getting to that par score. So that certainly, I think it's Rohit's responsibility to assess the condition quickly and decide what's the ideal score going to be on this track.
Who's a player you're looking out for? Is there someone your eyes are moving towards?
I'm looking forward to seeing Kedar Yadav bowling because he'll remind me of Lasith Malinga. They're so used to seeing bowlers like that on this pitch that
How many frames per second?
Yeah,
Kedar Jadhav is Lasith Malinga at what, 110 speed?
I'm just wondering that one attack is going to go fast, faster, fastest. The other attack is going to go slow, slower, slowest.
I think what's
fascinating to watch them.
Is they've told Kedar Jadhav, Ambati Rayudu, we're giving you a lot of responsibility as a batsman. I think Jadhav will bat up the order. Jadeja will bat up the order as well. But is there one player? You look at all these 22 players on the ground. And even as a former player, your eyes, would they move towards one or two players that you're looking at?
They do, I think, and this game certainly I'm very excited to see Bumrah. I think he's molding himself into someone like Malinga. The kind of impact he used to have on the shorter format of the game with his unorthodox action and the variations and the way he's bowling Yorkers these days. I think it's a treat to watch. So I'm very excited to see how Bumrah shapes up in this IPL.
I don't know. I just think MS Dhoni. I don't know. It's his team again. Dhoni has not been captain of a side for a long time now. He gave away he handed over the Indian team to Kohli, even though he's running it from behind when Kohli goes to long on.
Correct.
But I'll just be interested to see Dhoni the captain again. Not the player that he was, but
he's also
the
looking
captain again.
Fitter than
he
always looks fit, but he looks more chiseled. Something to him which is.
You see him. Did you see March while receiving the Padma Bhushan?
Yeah,
he wore the army. He's in the army, isn't it?
Goosebumps. Territorial army.
Joy's dad was in the army, so he'll.
Amazing guy, and apparently He's doing parachute jumps and he's an amazing guy.
So Dhoni fitness will never be an issue. It's just a question whether he can be the lead batsman in that team, right? He's
Absolutely. I think for a batsman, it's what goes down is your reflexes, and that's something which you have to keep on working on because for a bowler you can get away with few things, but for batsmen with the reflexes going down, the kind of time which you need to play those big shots and hit those big sixes can get affected, and that's why you're seeing off late Dhoni needs a bit more time. Like when he's set, he's able to play that destructive role, but he's not able to go walk in and start hitting big shots right away.
My gut feel is that if they make 185, 190, Chennai Super Kings will struggle to chase.
Probably, but I think this is also for me, as you said, Dhoni. I think it's Raina's statement to make.
Was it?
I am the most successful batsman in the IPL ever.
Didn't he make that 80 of 25 balls here at the Wankhede itself?
Yeah, he made a blinder out here, exactly.
Yeah, but the thing with Raina is increasingly he's becoming, when we saw him in ODIs, it looks like he only wants to play 20-25 balls and hit every ball out of sight. He told me once many years ago, that ये 40 ball का खेल है. ये थोड़ी ना, ये 40 ball का खेल है, 40 ball में जो करना है करके दिखाना.
But I think he has a point to prove, and I think any time players have points to prove, Harbhajan has a point to prove. So if you go by that, I think Chennai will put up a fight. If you look at team by team, I think Mumbai on this track looks a superior team, definitely.
Yeah, they start favourites, don't they? Mumbai.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I think when you look at these two teams also, for Chennai Super Kings, as far as their batting is concerned, I think Suresh Raina has to play a huge role, and he certainly cannot just go there and play the kind of role which we are talking about, that just go there and hit every single delivery out of the park. He will have to take that responsibility.
Same butterflies at the start of the IPL that you have, say, at the start of a World Cup, or that's completely different?
Not really, I think, because IPL is a long tournament, and you've seen the initial phase of the tournament. A lot of teams, because the squads are so big, always figuring things out. Like you start with your best playing 11, and then you think that someone is out of form, some injury questions and all that needs to be answered. Like someone like Pat Cummins coming late, and
that's a big blow.
Yeah. So these kind of things keep happening. So first 3-4 games, all the franchises usually take time to figure out what is the ideal combination for this particular season and go on about it.
It was inevitable with these 10 series going on. No Faf, no.
But I was also thinking, it's a matter of chance. If today the Fizz gets going, because we all know he's a great bowler, and Mitch gets going, Pat could come back here and sit. Because the fact of the matter is that when you go outside, you may not be playing too fast, foreign fast bowlers all the time. And if one of these two do really well, Pat could suddenly find himself out of the side.
And you might
this is the best pitch for him.
You might just get a fresh Pat come in. So if McLennan does well, it's fantastic for Mumbai Indians. Right, there's one other thing we're going to do right through here, which is that Joy Bhattacharjya gets up every morning and thinks of a question that nobody can answer. Just as fast bowling is in Zach's DNA, setting quizzes is in Joy's DNA. And so we've come up with something. Joy's going to ask you a question that he thinks is very tough to Google. We're calling the Joy Factor. Come on, Joy, what have you got? Joy Factor.
No, we're just starting out here, so I'm going to ask a really, really simple one. It's a very, very basic question. It says that if you look at it, which of these batsmen has played the most number of, or which of these players has played the most number of opening matches in the IPL?
So the first game of the IPL.
First game of the
all
IPL.
Those playing today.
Of all those
who's played the most opening games?
Of all those playing in this IPL.
Okay.
So who has a maximum appearances in opening games of the IPL today included?
It'll be interesting to see how you guys are going to work it out. I thought one way of working it out maybe is to say, look, how many champions start the next game? How many people have been in winning sides? Well, it's a very interesting question because when I did that, I got the wrong answer.
This is the easiest question, and remember,
easiest?
Yes, because none of these, we are not going to have
Nonsense,
all these
it's
things
not
with
easy.
4 alternatives and boss ek choice karo. All that rubbish we're not going to have. Tough questions, if you don't know it, don't answer.
Okay, so there you are, the Joy Factor. We're going to have one of those every day. He thinks it's simple. So can you imagine what's coming in the days ahead? Zach, I won't even ask you that question. I just ask
Please
you.
don't.
I just ask you. You got 10 seconds left. If you had to say, right, listen to Zach, I'm the expert. Who's going to win this game?
Mumbai Indians.
Okay. KKR.
With
But
great
KKR not
sadness.
playing.
I know, wrong day, but yeah, I have to say Mumbai.
I think in our studio we're going Mumbai Indians 3-0. I don't know if all you Whistle Podu fans are going to get angry with us, but that's just our feeling. So wait and see what happens. We'll join you in the mid innings.